All right, good morning to you, family. Well, let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to be starting with the news events first because we do have some significant news coming up for this week. Keep in mind, just say in your head, inflation, inflation, inflation. Because several of the pairs that you're probably going to be trading this week are going to be hit with inflation reports. So just be careful. Okay. So we got CAD coming out on Tuesday with their inflation. You have NZD coming out with the interest rates on Tuesday. Wednesday, you have the pound coming out with their inflation numbers on Wednesday. Thursday, you do have the inflation numbers for the JPY. Now, interesting enough, two ones that you have to pay attention to is going to be the FOMC minutes and the Fed Chairman Powell's speech on Friday, and FOMC is on Wednesday. Why is this important? As you know, there's a big hoopla between Trump and Jerome Powell, the Fed chairman, and they're looking to replace him and these kind of things and blah, blah, blah. And the last time that there was a discussion about Fed Chairman Powell or whether they're going to raise or lower interest rates, just a hint of it caused the market to go into a frenzy. So just make sure that you're careful around these times when you're trading because any little thing, this is one of those things where the market is completely nervous, don't know what's going to happen. If they get rid of Fed Chairman Powell, which he may address that concern as far as his job, or whether they're going to raise or lower interest rates. So these two things are going to be critically important to keep an eye on, okay? All right, let's get right on to the charts, you guys. So on the charts this week, I'm looking at several different pairs. All right, so here's the deal. So a lot of these are very, very, very much overextended. And so I'm looking for some pullbacks going on this week. Now, this pair right here, and let me see if I can go to the daily. You can probably see it a little bit better. All right, so from this pair here, and I'm already on GBP CAD. I'm not sure, to be honest with you, what happened with the CAD. So the CAD could stop right here, or it could push and retest this level up here, guys, to be honest with you. So I'm not sure what's popping off with the CAD. I didn't see any important news, but truth be told, that's probably, if it's going to push higher, it's still got a little bit of running room, which isn't far. That would put it to right here. That's another 20 pips or so before it's going to bump into a very, very, very strong daily resistance level right here. So that's what I will be keeping my eye on for this week. And you can see coming all the way back here, that was where it was. Let's go to the A pairs. All right, and let's go to the 4 hour. All right, and so now we do see here that on this one, it is creating a higher low. So we have where the markets have pushed up, boom, 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 boom. And let me do this for you guys. Let's switch. And there we go. So it's less noisy, not so noisy for you guys. All right. So anyway, we do see that the markets are creating lower highs. So it hit here, dropped, pushed back up, and it stopped right here, dropped again. So this one, I don't really see anything right here. It would have been nice if you would have called it off this bounce plate right here. I call it bounce plate support because that would have been a nice little win for you. And so me personally, and this is what I'm looking for sometimes, it's these little bounce plates. Okay, and you can see the buy arrow came in and it bounced and gave a couple of pips, and then you get in and get out. Okay, so getting a bounce plate will look nice, but right now I don't see anything worth our time on that one. ACAD, I don't see anything on that one. AJ, I see it sitting on the bounce plate right here. I call them bounce plates because, you know, once it hits support, it bounces. Okay, and give me a second. Something. All right, sorry about that. I was missing my support and resistance levels. I had the supports on, but not the resistance. And that comes with the sexy analyst. So I just double clicked in here. And so you got all these different things. And so you see you can turn on the support and resistance levels, supply and demand zones, inner trend lines, outer trend lines. It's full of all kind of stuff. Fibonacci levels is down here, you know, alerts. It comes with two scanners, trend line scanner. So in case price touches the trend line, it'll send you an alert, and every time it hits off a support or resistance, it can send you an alert. All that's encompassed in the Sexy Analyst, which you guys know, which is on our website, superezforex.com. Anyway, going back to this. So bottom line is, let's go back here, and you would have seen it better now. So once you hit this bounce plate right here, and boom, hit off that resistance, you get out of the trade. Okay, that's a way of playing it. So we had a bounce plate right here, resistance. But again, as far as just swing trading, I don't see anything. I see it sitting, heading back towards the bounce plate, but it's kind of in between. And remember, this is Sunday, so the market's going to gap open. So realistically, we have to see how the market's going to play this. But it looks like you see that bounce plate, that double bounce. So it's pulling back down, but it could push up and retest this top. So we'll see on that on the AJ. Same thing with this one. You see that it's also hitting the bounce plate right here. Okay, you can see boom, boom, boom. So I will be waiting for a 15-minute bounce plate arrow. If I get an arrow off of this bounce right here, look at these juicy plays right here. Boom, boom. See, here's the yellow line resistance. Arrow came in, buy off the bounce. So this is what I'm looking for. If I get these bounce plate plays right here, look at that first bounce plate, shot all the way up, hit another one, shot all the way down. That's what it looks like from the 4-hour. This is what it's looking like from the 15-minute. Boom, you got your buy, shot up. Here's the sell, boom, 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 down. Now we're sitting on another bounce plate right here, or support, and therefore I'm just going to wait on the 4-hour time frame for that one to see if it bounces up. And it'll be nice if it does with an arrow on the 15. Now this one is in between, so it's just choppy and sloppy. I don't like it. Euro NZD, the NZD pairs have been, I don't know what's going on with that either. So you just follow the market, but I don't see anything right now. This one's creating major, major highs. As you can see, this thing is pushing on the daily all the way up. So what's going on with that? I have no idea, to be honest with you guys, why it's doing it, but who cares? The bottom line is this is where price action is heading. And so therefore, this will be a major, major sell-off if we can get a double top right here off this daily and drop all the way down on the NZD, Euro NZD, Euro NZD, Euro NZD for sale. So if this thing pushes, which I do believe it's going to push up, this is going to be a buy, definitely. It's broken through support. Okay, you see it's sitting on top of it's sitting on top of resistance. Here's resistance. It broke through resistance and it's constantly bouncing off of it. So that means this thing is going to use this resistance level. It's going to become support now and it's going to bounce off of here. And so therefore, Euro NZD would definitely be a beautiful play for another 45 pips before it hits the next level off that daily. So from here to here, we're looking at about a 45 pip spread. But as you can see, the broker spread is 33 pips already. That's why you see this red line up here. I tell you guys, never, never, ever, 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 ever trade at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to 6:15 because this is the broker spread. Looking up what this spread is, 33 pips. So bottom line is, if you were still in this buy trade and you got up, man, that's pretty nice. But if you're trying to sell it, no, you just want to wait. Okay, let's keep it going. Keep the party going. Now we have something interesting right here, and for the sake of argument, let me do this. I have so many. All right, that one. All right, and then let me do this, and let me do this. What I'm doing is I'm taking up the supply and demand zone boxes so that you guys can see things a lot better. All right, save that one. And this is the charts I use sometimes when we're trading in the futures market, just to show them some things. All right, so this is sexy futures. I'm going to save that template. And yeah, there we go. All right, so now we're looking very, very beautiful. It's very clean. No boxes, no extra stuff. It's just simply price action, support and resistance levels, trend lines, support and resistance levels, and that's it. Okay, the supply and demand zones and all that stuff, I took it off so you guys can really see things clear. Now, so again, we have another resistance bounce plate. Drop down to the 15-minute. See, do we have an arrow on that bad boy? And I hope you guys are picking up the simple way. Oh, and look at there. Look at this bounce plate. See how it bounced? See that bounce? See that? Huge winners. Huge, huge, huge. Okay. So this is creating a lower highs. Here's a high point. Here's another high, but this high is lower than this one. Here's another high point, but this high is lower than that one. So it depends on how the market gaps open when the market opens up at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Normally the Euro pairs, the Euro USD has the lowest spread because it's the volume people traded so much. But normally it will give you like a spread of just 0.1. So, I mean, you can see this one is at 11.4. That's why I said at 5 p.m., don't touch these markets. Do not take a trade. You're going to get stopped out because you're just going to gap it open on you. And then after the first trading hour reopens again, you're going to get it boom, 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 right back to normal. Okay. EuroCAD. This is one I got my eye on because, and it looks like it's hitting up against the resistance right here. But I've got to be careful because, again, look at this, guys. This is the daily. Look at the daily. I have no idea what's going on with the cap pairs. They're pushing, creating new highs that I haven't seen before. Let's go to the weekly. And you can see here's the resistance, the original level on the resistance on the weekly on EuroCAD. And you see it broke through there as well. So who's to say how high this thing is going to go? Who knows? I don't know. Here's the monthly, and you can see that thing is pushing. So I would be very, very careful on this one. Okay. Now, if you get a reversal arrow, you can nibble on it and see what happens, but I can't tell you whether this is, because this is see, here's the high, and it dropped, hit the bounce plate, and shot all the way back up. So bounce plating on the 4 hours, just how I would play it with a 15-minute arrow. Okay. All right. So we got another lower high right here. So this is showing that it's a downtrend. Here's a high point, dropped down, went back up, created a lower high. This one is lower than that one, came down, bounced off, and now it's sitting here. So again, guys, just wait for the market to open and then to dictate. Look at that. That's pretty nice, huh? That's pretty cool. All right. Let's keep going. All right. So this one is this is where I would say this one here, and this is GJ, the dragon. So this one here, as you can see, you got to be patient if you're going to trade this one, because look at what it did right here. It just sat in a zone for a little while before the bottom dropped out. And so therefore, if that's the case, let me see if I can move this over. No, I want to move the box. Oh, it won't let me do it. Won't he do it? All right. Well, let me just move you. Rectangle. Get you out the way. So bottom line is it could do the same thing here. So if you get a sell arrow on the 15-minute, guys, I would definitely be looking into that. I definitely would. See that? All right, so let me do it like this. This will be better. The horizontal line. Bing, bing. That's the area. You see that resistance? Bing, 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 bing. If it come back up or give you a 15-minute sale, I would be taking it for a sale. Definitely. You see that? Look at that one. Boom. It came back up a little bit, but your stop would have been above the yellow lines. And look at that major, major, major sell-off. So even if you got in drawdown a little bit, that was 50 pips, but 100 pips made on that trade. Wow, that's a hot one. That is a hottie. That hottie got body. Ooh. Okay. So either way it goes, guys, that's what I'm looking for. Sell on the dragon this week. This one here, again, I don't know what's going on with the NZDs and the CADs, but you can see it's creeping up there. So all I can tell you on this one will not be a lower high or higher low. You're not playing the trend. You're just going to be having to play the reversal. So it is hitting up against some yellow dots. You can see them right there. So it is in the reversal area. So you're just going to have to see. And we do have a sell arrow, but I'm going to tell you guys, take a look at this, mark it up, and don't ever forget this. When I see this little square head, the Spongy Bob square head, I do not take the arrow, because chances are, especially on the Sunday or Monday, chances are it did push like it was supposed to, but then look at what's going on. Price is saying nope, nope, nope. So I do believe this one is going to go up first and retest or do something to the upside before you get your drop. So be patient on that one. I will wait until Tuesday or Wednesday on that one, to be honest with you. Wait until the final push. All right, so we got the lower high right here. We had complete resistance at this level right here, and they respected it, dropped down, created the lower high. Therefore, we wait for a 15-minute arrow, and we do have one. Now, because the market likes to retest all the time on Sundays and Mondays, I wouldn't be surprised if it pushes up. So yes, we see the arrow, but because it didn't push down hard enough on Friday, I will wait for this pullback and see if this pullback happened, or just monitor it. You can do like my friend Reggie in the group used to say all the time, take a nibble trade, which means you just take a small position, and but you see, here's the lower high, here's a high point. This one create the lower high. So we do have lower highs, but the market tends to push in the same direction as the original trend on Sundays and Mondays. So we just have to keep an eye on that one. Okay. overall, I still expect a sale. All right, same thing with this one. This is the cap here. I told you I don't know about that one. Just keep an eye on that one. Nothing there, nothing there, nothing there, and nothing there. All right, and let's check gold. Gold has been so ugly. It's just words just cannot explain the ugliness of gold. And the lower the time frame, the worse it gets. Okay, look at all that noise. Look at all that judo chop chop. So truth be told, I don't want to give you any say so on that pair. Let's keep it moving. Okay. All right, Euro AUD. Euro AUD. This is interesting. I'm going to mark this off, and bing, you can see it right here. Resistance right there. And every time it come up in this range, and I'll mark off the range. When it comes into this range, we see a sell-off right there in that range. So if I was to draw a second line right here, and that would be it. That would be the perimeter. So anytime it comes up in that area, see that blue box, and we have it. So I would be waiting for a sell arrow, and I would definitely sell that off up in that area right there. Okay. Let's keep this thing moving. There. All right. So I do see that it's sitting on a bounce plate right here, but this thing has been consolidating in this area right here. So I wouldn't touch it, to be honest with you. I'm not worried about chasing that one. I don't like that one. And I don't, well, I do like this one for a sale if it, but again, it's part of the CAD here. So CAD has been pushing up for no good reason. I don't understand. I haven't seen any political, but even though it could be something going on politically going on, which is why its currency is losing steam and any currency in front of it is going to the upside. So guys, I can tell you if it was just normal price action, I do see this double top right here, but that if it breaks through here, that means it can come all the way up. So I'm just going to tell you, hey, especially with Sundays and Mondays, I told you it has a tendency to go and follow the original trend, which is to the upside right now currently. As you can see here, it's creating higher highs. So if it breaks to hit this level, I would just not try to put force for sale. The next level up where it can go for is up here, and we can see that right there. So that would be the next level if it pushes through. Boom, boom, boom. It could go up that level all the way up there. So again, guys, just be careful. Now, as far as the ocean wave, to be honest with you, with gold, I was checking out gold with the ocean wave, and you can check all the other pairs. I don't want to make an extra long video for you guys, but gold would be better played on the 15 or 30 minute with the ocean wave system for those who love trading gold. See, it's much more, it absorbs the noise of the market. And I'm just going to shrink this to make it simpler. So you see how I told you to get in right here, and you just wrote it down, get in right here, and it went on up, get in right here and went sideways for a little bit. And then the thing is looking like it's going to still drop. We still have sales here. So this is what I would do with some of these pairs that if you have your favorite pairs, trade, especially if you already have the ocean wave system, stick with the ocean wave. Okay. Use the ocean wave for that. Here's what it looks like on the 15 minute, and I'm just going to shrink it a little down so you guys can see that it has been way more accurate using the ocean wave for some of these pairs. Look at this. This is a sale and it's sold. Sale, sold off. Buy, went up. Buy, went up. Buy, went up. Sale, went down. Okay. Just very, very simple. When it says to do it, just do it. Do it. Do it, baby. Do it. Okay, so that's what it looks like, guys. That's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be ocean waving gold this week. And some of the other turbulent pairs. Let's go look at, for an example, real quick, the CAD pairs. Let's go to Euro USD CAD. Uh-oh, I did something wrong. Okay, there we go. So, sell, drop, buy, 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 buy. All of them went up. Sell, 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 went down. And I shrunk my charts, but just so you know, these look little, but they ain't. When this went up, that's 165 pips. Okay. Sell, this little move right here, from here to here was 25. So it looks like it still wants to push to the upside. So, just be mindful of that. If you like the 15 minute better, that might be something you look at. If you want to be a little more conservative and go for the long distance, the 1 hour would be beautiful, 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 as you can see right here. Very, very nice. And I just shrunk these to make it easy, but if I widen this out, you can see it right there. It tells you to get in. Let's look at this one for an example. Okay, and once it hit the blue zone, it's telling you, okay, if you get in a sale and then you hit the blue, just go ahead and get out because it's telling you, hey, price action may change. That's what that blue is for. That was 71 pips on this little tiny move right here. Okay, right here to here, 177. Okay, and this is on the 1 hour time frame, family. 1 hour time frame. Okay, so again, there's great opportunities in the market. Let's take a look at this one. It told you to get here. By the time it got done, let's say, and I put my stop below the arrow, so that's 57 pips. Did we get it? Not there, not there, almost, and right there was 74. So that would have been a winner. So, I would just keep an eye on Ocean Wave in some of these trades. Okay. I really would, just to be on the safe side. Let's get one more, and then I'll let you go. All right, see how this one told you to buy consistently, okay? And when it's going sideways and you're getting a constant blues, I would just stay out because that's saying the market is consolidating. That's why we have this blue here. It's telling you when the market is consolidating. Blue, see? And then if you get a sell arrow or a buy arrow and it's followed by blue again, just cut the trade because it's telling you it's consolidating. And this is one of the rare trading systems on the planet that's going to tell you that. But when the breakout does happen, it's going to be huge. So look at there. Your stop was there. You did over 327 pips. Pretty nice. Okay. All right, you guys. See you. Leave a comment below, and I'll see you on the inside if you're in the futures group. And by the way, let me get you guys the websites. I always want to make sure you guys have access to our information. Okay, everything you need from us, all our services that we offer, you can find everything on our main website, which is super, E as in Echo, Z as in Zebra, Forex.com. If you want the Ocean Wave system, click right here. If you want our Simplicity Scanner, which will tell you when the buy and sell alerts are coming out, that's there. If you want the Sexy Analyst, which you see me using all the time, I don't trade without it. It's hard for me to trade without using it. That'll be here. If you want a copycat, just as soon as you hover over, click on this yellow, it's going to take you to our copycat website. Also, there's a video right here on the home page which will show you, hey, this is how your account will look with the software on it. And when I take a trade over here, it's going to actually copy out over here. When I close it over here, it's going to close out automatically on your account. You don't have to do anything. Okay. And if you want to be in our live futures class, you have that option right there. So just click there and it's going to take you to our websites, and you can sign up for the New York session or for the Asian session. Now, what's the difference? Time. So if you're in the New York session, there's a couple of differences. You're going to be trading the morning New York session with us, morning open and pre-market. And also on Tuesdays and Thursdays, you'll be having Miss Jenny. And on Wednesday, you'll have me. And on the Asian session, which is during the evening times, because a lot of people are at work during the day, they can't trade. So then they choose the Asian session at night. And it'll be Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. And it starts around 8:50 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is we're waiting for the 9 o'clock hour to trade, 9 o'clock New York time. And that's in the evening. So you can put the kids to bed, get everybody fed, get relaxed, and then just get ready to trade. We don't take long at all. And that's Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursday nights. And that's with me all 3 nights. Okay. So that's all of our services. Everything can be found on superezforex.com. Okay. Have a blessed Saturday. Have a blessed Sunday, and I'll see you guys on the inside.